What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are going back into Order 66 raid, looking at the very first solo team that I've found, and it's a little bit different, but should be available to basically everybody, which is kind of cool. So here we are in the Order 66 raid. I'm going to show you two different comps here today, ladies and gentlemen, using a character that everybody should have, and that is Grand Moff Tarkin. Grand Moff Tarkin is the pilot of the capital ship, the Executrix. He is required for a bunch of farms at relic levels. You need him at relic 7 at the very least in order to unlock everything. So he is a worthwhile investment regardless. He's an old character and has a great buff. The good thing is, even if you do not have the new clones, this guy can solo the first tier, and he can actually do the second tier with a little bit of help. Let me show you what I mean. So, if we go in at the base difficulty with just Grand Moff Tarkin, mod him for a bunch of potency and maybe some crit damage, and, potency over here and offense, or you could mod him for offense sets, it's actually incredibly easy to clear this full tier just on his own. Just on his own. So even if you have no new clones whatsoever, go in at the bottom tier, you just go in, you'll use your second special over here, Intimidation Tactics, and then you just drop the hammer! And everybody dies. Then we'll use the event special ability and we'll just basic and basic and basic. That's going to ramp up our potency with Tarkin so that the next time he uses ultimate firepower, he's just going to drop the hammer again. All right, so look. Everybody dies. Basic and basic and basic. And then we'll do this. And then once again, take some damage because we don't have the turn meter, unfortunately. It's not going to matter, don't worry guys. We'll use Intimidation Tactics and then drop the hammer and just basic, and this. In fact, I actually think that would probably work on full auto. He might end up using Intimidation Tactics on his on Lord Vader, though it's a bit risky, but it's probably going to... I'll give it a try. Let's see if he can just do that on just full auto. I'll be very surprised if he can, but let's risk it for the biscuit and find out, shall we? Risk it for the biscuit and find out. Tarkin, do your thing. Boom. That's a great start. And he used the event special ability, which is again great, but then he used the AoE. That's the issue, see? Using the AoE is not the cleverest thing that you've done today, Tarkin, I'm afraid. And then not attacking the disguised clone trooper is another thing that you should have done. But yeah, no, he's fine. He can totally full auto this. Well, there you go, guys. You've got your very first full auto for the raid. Yes, it uses... This is a Relic 9 Tarkin, but I have proof that it works at a Relic 7 tier as well. You do not need R9 Tarkin to make this work. And you can get 300k full auto. 300k full auto. Now, what's not to like about that? That's super easy, super quick, super convenient. Now, I tried to get this to work at the higher tiers. I can't seem to get it to work at tier 2 without taking in Scorch. Now, bear with me a moment. I know this Scorch is R9, but all you really need is Scorch at, 5 stars? And just use his abilities. You just need him to pre-taunt. That's all it is. You just need him to pre-taunt at the start, okay? So we're going to go in. This Scorch is going to go first, but it shouldn't matter. All we need is that pre-taunt. I'm going to go ahead and throw out the grenades here, targeting over here at Appo. And we're going to do the same thing. We'll use that second special, and then we'll just drop the hammer, and everybody dies, all right? And then I'll put it on auto from here. I doubt it can do this full auto. You just never know with Tarkin, realistically speaking, do you? But I know that playing this manually, you can totally clear this with 0 issues to get 450. And like I said, you do not actually need a strong Scorch. You just need him at the start in order to get the ball rolling so that they can't stun your Tarkin and destroy him. You need that little bit of additional damage output. After that, super easy, guys. Super easy, as you can see. There's literally nothing that the enemy can do. We've got too much damage output going on here. So I really like that there is some opportunities for us to take in sort of, underman teams to a certain degree. I've already got 2 for the Jedi Vanguard at the very least. We've got some easy splits out there, and now we've got our solo teams as well. Getting 450 for basically a Relic 7 Tarkin. It will work at Relic 7, and a Scorch that's 5 stars. Just to get his abilities up, just get him that pre-taunt. That should be all you need. But wait, it made me think about what could we do with undermanning at the higher levels with the clones and Grand Moff Tarkin. So let's take a look at that, shall we? I'm going in at the Relic 9 tier here with Grand Moff Tarkin, Scorch, and Appo. This is just at the very top end. And it's easy. I tried it with just Tarkin and Scorch, and it's not quite accessible. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this first special. The reason I'm using the first special is because it actually just dispels the whole team. It's great. And then I'm just going to do a basic over here, working down on Fox. I'm going to go ahead and let's have a look. How's the turn order looking? Let's go ahead and get the Bulwark up just to make sure that we've got some nice amounts of protection over here for our team. And then we're going to go ahead and use intimidation tactics. And yeah, I'm going to do some AoE damage here. I just want to put a little bit of damage. I'm not concerned about the execute at the moment. Coming over here, just a basic. Spread that damage a little bit. Spread that damage a little bit more. And then wait for the big boomer to come in from our boy Tarkin. Yeah, the execute does get a little bit low, but it's not too bad. Booyah, everybody's gone. Isn't that wonderful? We're just going to do basics here. It's going to increase our crit damage. Basic. And basics with Tarkin to ramp up his potency. And then we'll go into wave 2. And as you know, guys, as soon as you finish sort of wave 1, after wave 1 is done, it's kind of easy from there. And I know that sounds silly. I really should have attacked the disguised clone trooper there. I know that sounds kind of like basic, and it is kind of basic information, but once you've cleared the first wave, it really is a cakewalk. You're kind of done at that point, which is really, really cool. So let's just go ahead and throw out some of this. I probably should have used the Bulwark to ramp the crit damage, to be honest, but honestly, we don't even have to worry at this point. We're kind of golden. We're kind of golden. Now let's go ahead and just keep going over here. I'm obviously wanting to get the maximum amount of points without having to worry about Lord Vader going into his enrage, but I'm happy to say that this does work relatively well. Relatively well. So we've managed to get that additional stacking potency on our boy Tarkin. I definitely do want to put more speed on him if I was going to do this in the future, because you do want him kind of interrupting these guys. Don't let them take that first turn. Go ahead and drop this, and then drop the hammer on them in a second. Unfortunately, we can't get enough turn meter to do it quickly, because there's fewer troopers. But that's it, guys. That's it. Once you're there, you're good. You're golden. You're done. You're sorted. Dark Side clone troopers. Actually, phenomenal. And then just to go to show, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, Relic 7, 300k, totally doable with a solo Tarkin on the first tier without him being R9. It's not about the R9, it's about ramp up that crit damage, that offense, that potency, get him there and drop the hammer, and you will have a great, great time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know this is a quick and dirty one, but I'm not going to be here wasting all your time for 10 minutes. No, I want to cut out the information so you guys can start getting those raid scores done. Amazing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out. And may the Force be with you.